31-foot octagon, if I'm pushing him forward every single time, he can back up and counter-strike. But when I put myself against the octagon, I got 31 foot to drive his, I was going to say a curse word, drive his butt across the octagon and get the job done.
And finally, describe getting your belt back. Did Conor actually hand it to you, or did somebody have to...
I just want the drama, don't you?
Absolutely, yes.
The person that asked me to use the belt issued the belt back to me.
Fair enough.
I have not seen Conor since he won his fight.
Fair enough.
Tyrone, good evening. Congratulations.
How you doing?
Good, thank you. One of the things you did very well tonight was to, as you say, to be patient and counter with your right over his left, yeah? A lot. And that right hook looked like it was going to knock him out, you know, in the second and third.
You didn't think he was out?
Maybe he was out, yeah. I thought you had a brilliant game plan. I wondered how much Duke Roufus had helped you in that process.
Duke Roufus helped a ton, you know, not only just with his background in sport karate, his brother and his dad who grew up teaching him that art form, so he knew how to beat that style. But he also was open-minded to me bringing in other coaches. Like I brought in a national taekwondo, you know, training partner. I brought in Raymond Daniels. I brought in all these different guys. And he could have been like, hey, you know what? I got this. I got the training partners. You know, we got Eric Koch here. We got Anthony Pettis. These guys are more than sufficient to provide that look of Wonder Boy. But he was all about the task, all about winning the belt. So he really didn't, you know, mentally, you know, get the ego. So that's what I love about Duke. He don't sweat the technique. We just want the results.
I don't want to cause any drama, but just want to know what it will be like to knock Conor McGregor's head off. Obviously, you're a much bigger man. And just talk to us about what really has gone through your head, because it clearly has.
I mean, to be just straight up honest, Conor McGregor is a guy that fought at 145 ever in his life. I haven't weighed 145 since my sophomore year in high school. So if I beat him...
It would be like you bullying a boy.
I'm not going to say that because he's tall. He has long arms. He has good timing. And when you got, you know, good timing and things like that, you can place good punches. But I'm 100% positive he's never been hit with the shots I'll hit him with. Stevie Wonderboy is literally got my bid today because I hit him with some stuff and he recovered from it. I just don't think Conor understands the pressure I can put on him, the power I can put on him, and all the different attacks. So I think it's good for media, but in general, man, I don't know how I can win. If I beat him, everybody's going to say I'm supposed to beat him. He was a former featherweight. If I lose to him, then obviously we know what's going to happen there.
But do you think the fight will happen?
I mean, if he wants to fight, I mean, we can sign it right now. I'm good on the fight. I mean, I just don't think it's a good idea for him to fight me.
Thank you.
Hey, T-Wood. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Question for you. A lot of people were concerned, well, not concerned necessarily, but thought that maybe you'd burnt out your arms trying to go for the choke with Steven. How did you feel after that, and how close did you think you were? Because that was quite a long time that you did try for it.
Well, the biceps was definitely burning, 100%. But he was, I had him in the choke. It was so deep. And I know I got a good guillotine choke. And I heard him kind of heaving, and like, you know, he couldn't breathe and it looked like he was panicking. So I'm like, oh, he's about to tap out. I'm going to just keep squeezing. Then my legs was sliding down his back because it was sweaty. So I tried to adjust my legs. And don't get me, Wonder Boy, I see you in the corner. But he doesn't have the largest head. So that baby popped out. And when he popped his head out, I was like, oh, my God, I just was squeezing this choke for 45 to a minute, and he popped out and he's on top of me. So yeah, it did burn my arms out a little bit. It took maybe a minute or two in the fifth round for my arms to kind of loosen up again.
And quickly, you know, Dana had mentioned that he thought a rematch would be the next thing for you. Damian Maia is obviously in the mix as well. I'm curious who you would prefer to fight, Damian or Wonder Boy?
You know, I'm just leaving those things up for grabs, you know. Danny said he usually don't pick fights the night of the fight. And, you know, I'm just going to sit back, you know, go back to the drawing board, talk to my management team, see what's important. Obviously, this is sport, but it's also entertainment. If Conor McGregor wants to fight me, I think all you guys are going to want to see that fight. It's going to suck for Wonder Boy and Maia because those guys are going to feel like they deserve a shot, but maybe they can fight each other in the meantime. So we'll see, you know.
Thank you.
Y'all want to see that fight, me and Conor? Yes, bro. How many of you guys want to see me and Conor fight? See, some of you guys don't think it's fair, do you?
A question for Tyron over here.
Where we at? All right. What's up, Aaron?
Just a couple questions for you. This has been an interesting journey since Atlanta, all the hate that you received, the criticism that you received. Do you feel fulfilled, even though you don't get the W? Is this sort of a shot back to the critics, or does getting the W really solidify that? Meaning, can you walk away, saying that you proved everyone wrong, or did they rob that from you?
I definitely feel like, I never go out there to try to prove the critics wrong because there's so many of them, and they so fickle. Some of them say you terrible, and I can guarantee you if I go to my Twitter right now, oh, that was such an awesome fight, and it's the same people that, was torturing me on social media. So with that said, I choose to spend time proving the people that train me right, my family right, my loved ones right. I couldn't hear, but I'm pretty sure I probably got booed when I walked out there. I got booed at the press conference. It's the first time ever. And just in general, I just don't want to take away from the moment, man. This was a historical moment. I had to really focus, man. This week was a little weird for me, I'm going to be honest with you. And I had to stay focused on the task at hand, going out there and fighting a very deserving and tough opponent. And, I spent a lot of time with Wonder Boy, surprisingly. We was in the cars together, sitting next to each other. So I think, I misread him on some things that I said in the past. So I actually owe him an apology. He's actually a stand-up guy. And, I said some things about him that, I kind of want to apologize for.
This year, the UFC has done a good job of taking its champions to their hometowns. Verdum in Curitiba, Miocic in Cleveland, Bisping in Manchester. Given all of this, will you try to convince them to take you to St. Louis so you can get that hero's welcome?
For sure. I think about this. If you look at my history, I fought Dong Young Kim in Asia. I fought Rory McDonald in Vancouver. They were wanting to set up about with me and Hector Lombard in Australia. So I fought everybody on their own turf, and never once have I had to go home to St. Louis and sleep in my own bed. So I would love to fight in St. Louis. It's a great venue. We've seen, many, many times that, the combat sport fans will show up and show out. And I just have a hard time believing it wouldn't sell out in less than, 48 hours.
And then finally, quickly, is GSP still on your bucket list, or have you moved on from that?
Man, I'm just trying to go through this weight division. There's still a lot of guys I haven't fought yet. If George wants to come back, once again, it's part sport, part entertainment. If he steps up, he's going to trump. When I was about to fight Robbie, they were talking about George fighting. And I had to be honest and say, hey, if he steps in, he's going to jump over me and get the title shot. So I think these athletes, they might not like it, but they'll have to understand it.
All right, guys, thank you.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Congratulations. For the record, Tyron, I did pick this.
John's like, don't hurt me.
Guys, we have Chris Weidman and Stephen Thompson who are going to be available together right now.
Welcome.
Hey, Chris, I wanted to ask you, I asked Dana a similar thing. It seems to me ridiculous that MMA had been banned in this state for so long and so much dirty politics kind of had gone on. And tonight, maybe you suffered the worst injury of anybody on the card. And yet, can you put in perspective sort of like, how the politics were bad here? Because this night proved there's nothing wrong with MMA and that the sport should have been here many, many years ago.
Yeah, I'm still up here smiling, answering questions. The last couple of years have been crazy, trying to get this legalized here. And every single time we went up to Albany or different places around New York, speaking to senators and assemblymen, you just get a lot of optimism out of them and saying it's going to pass, and it just never did. And then a couple people got arrested, and then things changed. So I think that's kind of the answer for that.
Quick question for you, Chris. How many stitches in your head?
Take it easy, buddy. I'm fine. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I probably broke the record. I know I beat Wonder Boy in something tonight. I definitely got him in stitches.
Question for Steve. Phenomenal performance tonight. So close. How heartbreaking is it, though, to have it in that way, that it was a draw?
You know what? It was better than what it was in the beginning, having him, winning the title. They came back and said it was a draw. I'd take it. I mean, it's not a win, obviously. So it's definitely disappointing, but hopefully we can do it again, man. You know what I mean? Hopefully we can get this this fight happening again. Ended up getting fight of the night. I know it was exciting. I know the fans loved it. So, yeah.
Walk us through that third round or the fourth round when he landed the punch and then the guillotine. Kind of walk us through that because you survived, which is incredible. But I mean, kind of walk us through what did you remember about that moment? How did you get through that?
You know what? The punch, it really didn't. I was still coherent. Could still see. Got right back up to my feet. He ended up getting the guillotine. It was very tight right off the bat. Ended up defending it well. Got my arm in. Got my butt up in the air. I could feel him, really struggling to try and get it. So I was like, you know what? Sit here for a second. Try and work my arm. Try and get my head out. See if he can burn his arms out. Ended up getting my head out, and threw a few shots right after that, and then the bell rung. So in the beginning, it was very close. Yes.
Two quick ones, real quick. One, did you think you won?
You know what? I thought I pulled out in the last round just by outpointing him. I know he definitely took the first round. He took the first round. It was it. I mean, busted me up with a few elbows, a few good shots. I was a little hesitant during this fight. I knew, he likes to explode in and throw that big right hand, hit me with a few jabs. So I knew how strong he was in the clinch position, which led me to be a little bit more hesitant closing the gap. And I shouldn't have done that, man. Should have gone out there and just let it all out.
And Dana said, obviously, it makes sense that you guys do it again. I mean, is that just kind of in your head right now that you're going to prepare for a rematch with Tyron Woodley?
Oh, yes. I think the fans and everybody were really excited. I think they were entertained, so definitely want to do that again.
Steven, right over here. Right here, Steven. Hey, first off, great performance tonight. I got to know, though, seeing your close friend here, Chris Weidman, lose tonight the way he did that have any effect at all on the fight for you?
You know what? It was, man. I mean, at first, of course, I know when in the moment, I felt it. My heart dropped. For something like that, it happened to such a good guy, good friend, man, and now family member. It hurt me, man. It hurt me deep. But I knew I had a job that I had to do right after that, so I had to stay focused on it.
And, getting, that fourth round where you're in trouble, did you sort of grow tonight as far as being a fighter and overcoming that and, surviving? I think you gained a lot of fans from that tonight by, getting through it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, man, it was very close in the beginning, but I told myself this is the title shot, man. I'm never the type of guy to give up. Okay. In that fourth round, I was just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not tapping. If this guy's gonna, guillotine me, I'm gonna give this guy hell. But I ended up getting out. Obviously, his arms loosened up a little bit and ended up popping my head out. But it was close in the beginning. But I told myself, there's no giving up here.
Question for Chris up here in the middle. Forgive me if I lost my voice on Thursday, so if I squeal, I apologize.
Sound good. I lost my voice. Oh, it's back.
When you first entered the arena, coming in and seeing the crowd, it looked like you paused for a second or two. Can you just talk a little bit about what was going through your mind at that time?
It was a dream come true. It was everything I imagined until I lost. But that walkout was truly special for me. Just all the dreams being realized. I've had so many ups and downs in the sport, and then so many times I thought this was going to get legalized, and I imagined fighting here in New York, and for it to finally happen, and to have a crowd like that and that type of support after traveling around the world and fighting everywhere else besides my home state, it was a dream come true walking out.
Question for Chris. Do you think that the eye poke changed the rhythm of the fight?
Honestly, I haven't gave any of that any thought at all. I know I definitely, as many people told me before the fight, don't get frustrated with any antics that might happen. I know my coaches told the ref and the commission before the fight about ice on the floor and putting too much water on him, and then they take time rubbing it off him, and it happened twice, and I got a little frustrated, even though I should have not got frustrated. But at the end of the day, now eye poke and the water on the floor, it's not something I'm focused on right now.
Chris, you were pretty outspoken in your criticism of Yoel and the problems he had with the failed drug test. Now it does sound like he is going to get the title shot, though. Now that you've been in there with him, he did pick up a win over you. Do you feel he's deserving of that title shot, or do you stay on kind of firm in your criticism that he doesn't deserve it?
Well, he just put a good performance against me.